Good morning to all of you. Welcome to the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. At the outset, I would like to wish you all a happy enrichment from the vocabulary point of view. And before I do that, I would like to start the session with a nice quote. So, what is today's quote? Difficult roads often lead to, obviously, it is very difficult. You should always remember, at the end, in the long run, it is going to be a beautiful future. Now, coming to the vocabulary part, enrichment, what are the words you're going to learn? You're going to learn words like hazardous, inflammable, endanger, charred, crackdown, shortcomings, cognizable, rampant, prosecute, exponentially. And before I go to the effective English part, I would like to talk about page 8, the editorial content. The first editorial on the left talks about the reign of Shivraj. It talks about the power politics in the state of Madhya Pradesh. And there's one important word here, a reign. A reign means a rule or government, authority, power. The reign of Shivraj, the new chief minister of the state, Madhya Pradesh state. The second editorial, today I'm going to work on that, death by fireworks. That is the second short editorial. The main editorial talks about ironing out wrinkles in India's pandemic response. It talks about, it uses not simple and easy words, but these words they go with everyday English. But in this context, they have other meanings. The words have other meanings. Ironing out means sorting out. Wrinkles means problems when it comes to India's pandemic response of the country related to the pandemic. The fourth article talks about in riot aftermath. There's an important word, riot. Already I've got the word riot. It is like a violent incident or clashes. Aftermath. Aftermath talks about the consequences that happen or that take place after an unpleasant incident. In riot aftermath, it's scorched healthcare too. Scorched, there's an important word. Scorched means, it goes with the summer. We say scorching heat, means very hot. So these are the articles, and now let us go to enrichment, effective English. You're going to learn 5 phrasal verbs. And what are the phrasal verbs from today's session? What are you going to learn? Besides these phrasal verbs, you're going to learn 5 idioms. What are the 5 idioms? You're going to learn make a fortune, one idiom, make shift, another idiom, make a mark, an important one, mind one's P's and Q's, very important, and the last one, man of letters. These are the idioms you're going to learn. And please excuse me, I have a doubt whether it is streaming or not. I would like to check. Let us see how the editorial starts. Death by fireworks. Death by fireworks. There are 3 words here. One is death, and how does it happen? What is the agent? Fireworks factories or fireworks industries. This editorial is about what happened in Tamil Nadu, and it talks about what exactly the reasons behind these frequent fire accidents at fireworks factories. It talks about the limitations or the illegal practices, and it also talks about the role of the government, what it has to do, and how it has to go about. And it also talks about what steps, how the industry has to look at it or to prevent the fire accidents. Violations of rules in hazardous industries can be tolerated only at the cost of human lives. That's a very good sentence. What does it mean? Violations of rules, not following the rules, in hazardous industries, there's an important word, hazardous means dangerous, can be tolerated. We can tolerate the violations of rules in hazardous industries only at the cost of human lives. That means what? Once we tolerate, once we accept, that is going to result in the death and the loss of lives. A very good sentence. Violations of rules in hazardous industries can be tolerated only at the cost of human lives. Then the editorial provides the background information. Unsafe working conditions and improper handling of inflammable raw materials continue to endanger lives in the fireworks industry. So, what are the reasons? One is unsafe working conditions, the other, improper handling of inflammable raw materials. There's an important word, inflammable. Inflammable means something that catches fire. There's another word, flammable. Usually, when we use the prefix in, it has a negative connotation or opposite meaning. But surprisingly, English has exceptions. Flammable, inflammable, both mean the same, something that catches fire. There are two reasons. One is unsafe working conditions, and the other, improper handling of inflammable raw materials, continue to endanger lives in the fireworks industry. Endanger. There's one important expression here, continue to endanger. Continue, that is a verb in present, to endanger, the verb in the basic form or infinitive form. And lives in the fireworks industry. Endanger means to threaten. Last week, it provides what exactly happened and about the incident. Last week, 11 workers were charred at a fireworks unit in Tamil Nadu's Virudhunagar district. Last week, 11 workers were charred. Usually the word charred, it takes a particular word when it comes to collocation. We say charred to death. Word charred means what? Burnt. They were burnt and turned black. Charred to death, it is understood, at a fireworks unit in Tamil Nadu's Virudhunagar district. Police data show that in the past decade, at least 239 people have perished and over 265 injured in 142 accidents in fireworks units. Have perished, that is in present perfect tense. Were charred, that is in past tense. And there is an important word here, perished means died. Have perished and over 265 injured in 142 accidents in fireworks units. Such tragedies have not been confined to 𝐒𝐑𝐃𝐈𝐀. This again, have not been confined, haven't been confined. This is in present perfect, passive voice. Such tragedies haven't been confined to 𝐒𝐑𝐃𝐈𝐀, deemed the fireworks capital of the world. There is a place in Virudhunagar district, 𝐒𝐑𝐃𝐈𝐀, and this is considered, deemed means considered, the fireworks capital of the world, where most such units are concentrated. Illegal cracker units functioning in a few other parts of the state have also led to loss of a significant number of lives. The editorial talks about not only when it comes to the capital of the fireworks capital of the world, that is 𝐒𝐑𝐃𝐈𝐀, at other places in the Tamil Nadu, in the state of Tamil Nadu, have also led to loss of a significant number of lives. Have also led, that is also in present perfect tense. In and around 𝐒𝐑𝐃𝐈𝐀, the manufacturing of fireworkers in makeshift unlicensed units, rough handling of chemicals by untrained and unskilled workers, spillage or overloading of chemicals during the filling process, and working outside permitted areas have been identified as major causes for past accidents. The editorial provides the reasons why these incidents happen, and so many of them happened in the past, and the reasons behind. One is the manufacturing of fireworkers in makeshift unlicensed units. Makeshift means temporary. A rough handling of chemicals by untrained and unskilled workers. Second reason, spillage or overloading of chemicals during the filling process. Spillage, spilling, overflow. The third reason, and working outside permitted areas. The fourth reason, have been identified as major causes for past accidents. Have been identified. This is in present perfect passive voice. In the recent tragedy too, the workers were engaged in manufacturing fancy aerial crackers for which the unit did not have a license. It talks about the recent tragedy, what exactly the reason was. In the recent tragedy, too, the workers were engaged, that is in the past, in manufacturing fancy aerial crackers for which the unit did not have a license. The unit did not have a license, this is in past tense, negative form. Preliminary investigation suggests that mishandling of chemicals could have triggered an explosion. There is one important helping verb here and a pattern, could have triggered. It talks about a past possibility. Generally, a past possibility, which is a guess, we use might have. In this context, they should have used the helping verb might have plus the verb in past participle form. Preliminary investigation suggests that mishandling of chemicals might have triggered an explosion. That would have been a better expression. But whatever it is, you have to focus on the helping verb could have triggered an explosion. Occasional accidents in an industry dealing in explosive materials may seem inevitable. Again, grammar point of view, there is one helping verb, may, which talks about a possibility, and may seem inevitable. Already you have got the word inevitable. What is the meaning of that? Unavoidable, or you could also think of the word imminent or impending. But the probability of such mishaps, unfortunate incidents, mishap means unfortunate incident. But the probability of such mishaps can certainly be reduced. Another helping verb, can be reduced. This is also in passive voice. By adopting, how can they be reduced? By adopting safe work practices, complying with rules. Already have got the word comply, means what? Following the rules and regulations. Complying with rules. And through cohesive monitoring by central and state licensing and enforcement authorities. Cohesion, cohesive, unity, united. You have got those words already. Crackdowns, restrictions, strict action against something, a particular firm. Crackdowns against violators have been few and far between. Have been few and far between. This is in present perfect active voice. They have used the helping verb to be as a main verb, and the past participle form of that is been. Crackdowns against violators have been few and far between. Despite, that's an important word, preposition. And usually in the exam, they give the combination despite of, which is not correct. After despite, you should not use the preposition of. Despite illegal subleasing of works to unlicensed cottage units becoming a widely acknowledged practice in the industry. So it talks about the reasons, not exactly the reasons. Crackdowns against violators have been rather limited. One of the reasons for that, lack of implementation on the part of the state government, and also coordination between the center and state authorities. Have been few and far between. Few and far between, an important phrase you have to remember. The Tamil Nadu Fireworks and Amorces Manufacturers Association. Amorces, it goes with toy pistols. Amorces Manufacturers Association has also complained about the unlicensed units, a parallel industry in itself spread across a dozen villages. Has also complained, this is also in present perfect tense, but in active voice. The Chaitanya Prasad Committee, here the editorial talks about a particular committee, what it found and what it recommended. The Chaitanya Prasad Committee, which examined, among other things, statutory and administrative shortcomings. Shortcomings means failures, statutory, legal, statutory and administrative shortcomings that led to the death of 40 workers at Om Shakti Fireworks Industries in 2012. Noted, this is in past tense, the conspicuous absence. That's an important word, important phrase rather, conspicuous absence. Conspicuous, obvious, clear, absence of proper inspection mechanisms at various government departments. It also found, this is also in past tense, a lack of coordination between central and state authorities dealing with the regulation of fireworks industries. And what are the recommendations of the committee? The committee recommended making subleasing of fireworks by licensed units a cognizable penal offense. There's an important word here, cognizable. One is, it means something that comes under the jurisdiction of a particular court. Under court's jurisdiction, one meaning. Another meaning, perceptible, something that can be noticed. cognizable penal offence, mandated inter-safety distances between sheds covered with earthen mounds, and provision of a smoothened pathway with a width of 1.5 meters as part of industrial safety measures. This sentence talks about the recommendations of the Chaitanya Prasad Committee. Ground reports suggest these recommendations continue to be ignored. Ground reports suggest, this is in present, these recommendations continue, that is also in present, to be ignored, that is in passive voice, with subleasing of work still rampant. There's an important word, rampant. Usually it goes with the word corruption. In India, we have corruption is rampant. Rampant corruption means what? Widespread. Regulators understandably complain of a lack of manpower in checking violations. One of the limitations, lack of manpower in checking violations, the number of players has exponentially grown, exponentially, rapidly. The number, that's an important phrase, it always takes a singular verb. The number of players has exponentially grown. This is also in present perfect tense. Since the 1980s, with 1,070 licensed units employing an estimated 10 lakh workers now. But safety is non-negotiable. We cannot negotiate safety. That is in present tense. How does the editorial end? The governments must walk the extra mile to enforce rules in a hazardous industry. This is what expected from the government or the governments. The governments must walk the extra mile, do something extraordinary, or go beyond the usual thing to enforce rules in a hazardous industry. Enforcement rules when it comes to hazardous industries is rather indispensable. And the second dimension, and prosecute violators, obviously. The governments have to prosecute violators. The second aspect the editorial touches, one goes with the governments, the other goes with the industry, fireworks industry. So what does it say? The industry too must self-regulate in its own interest. The industry must also be responsible in its own interest. That's how the editorial ends. That's all about today's editorial. And before we go to the exercises part, I would like to spend a few minutes on the enrichment from three dimensions, a multi-pronged approach. One, vocabulary point of view. Second, grammar point of view. Third, comprehension point of view. So what are the words you're going to learn, or rather you have got exposed to today from this editorial? And here it is like effective vocabulary. First one, hazardous. Hazard, danger. Hazardous, dangerous. Part of speech, adjective. Inflammable, flammable, both mean the same. Inflammable material, that is also an adjective. It means explosive, one meaning. Another meaning, something that catches fire. Endanger, usually it is used in the adjective form, endangered species, endangered flora. So it means a risk or threaten. It goes with the environmental problems as of now. Charred usually takes the word death, collocation, charred to death, burnt and blackened. Perished, that's a regular word, died. Perish is a verb. Perishable goods, that is an adjective form. Deemed means considered. Usually it goes with the academic world. Deemed university. Deemed university means what? Considered university. Spillage, spilling, something that overflows. Spill goes with everyday English. Generally we say don't spill the milk, don't spill water, don't spill the liquid. Cohesive, that's an important word. It means united. Cohesive efforts means united efforts. That is an adjective. Crackdowns, crackdown singular, crackdowns plural. So obviously it has to be a noun. Restrictions, strict action against someone or something. In this case, against the violators. Statutory, constitutional or legal. That's an important word. Statutory provisions, constitutional provisions or legal provisions. Shortcomings is also an important word. Shortcomings, singular, shortcomings, plural. Obviously, it has to be a noun. It means failures. Cognizable, two spellings are there. One is S-A-B-L-E, the other one Z-A-B-L-E. Either way, it is correct. Cognizable, it means one is perceptible, the other one within court's jurisdiction. Remember the word jurisdiction. Rampant, that's an important word. When you have to write an essay on corruption, black money, do remember to use the word rampant, which means unchecked or widespread. Rampant corruption. Exponentially, that is also an important word. It means rapidly. Explosive growth, exponential growth. These are the typical combinations. There's one idiomatic expression when something grows very fast. Generally, we use the word proliferate, one word, and also we say mushroom growth. Mushroom growth means a sudden growth or exponential growth or explosive growth. Non-negotiable, negotiate, discuss. Non-negotiable, not open to discussion. Prosecute, that's an important word. Conduct legal proceedings against someone. These are all effective words, and some of these are very important from the exam point of view. And what is the word of the day? Endanger. This is in the limelight. And what does it mean? Endanger, any word, first you have to focus on, you should create the word profile for every important word or every word that goes with effective English. So what is the word here? Endanger. It has been in the limelight because we have been facing a lot of environmental problems related to the rainforest, the species, the flora, the fauna. So endanger, part of speech verb, it means put someone or something in danger. What are the word forms? Whenever you come across a word, you know it is a verb, you should think of all the 5 verb forms. One is to endanger, that is a basic form or infinitive. Endanger, present form. Endangered, past form. Endangered, past participle. And past participle, we can use that as an adjective. Endangering, that is present participle, we can use that also as a noun or as an adjective. What are the typical word combinations? Endangered species, endangered flora means plants, endangered fauna means animals, endangered communities. That is, these are the typical combinations. Yes, it is a regular verb. I appreciate whoever has said that. Synonyms, threaten, jeopardize, that's an important word. Jeopardize. Careful with spelling. What is the spelling? D-I-Z-E. And imperil, that is also an important word. Imperil, an important word. All these aspects go with the word profile. Always remember, whenever you come across an effective word, you have to create the word profile. That means you have to write the word, the part of speech, the meaning, the examples, then the word forms, the word combinations, and the synonyms, if possible, the antonyms. It means you have created the word profile. And this exercise will help you in the exam and quite useful because quite often they ask questions related to word forms and word combinations. What to recollect? Grammar. Now grammar dimension, grammar aspect. One expression can be tolerated. I can tolerate that. That can be tolerated by me. So here there is a helping verb that has been used in passive voice. I can do that. That can be done by me. Can talks about possibility, one of the functions based on someone's ability. It also talks about ability. She can sing a song. That talks about ability. She can do the work. The work can be done by her. You have to recollect the functions of the helping verb can. Continue to endanger, continue to threaten, continue to do something. So see the pattern, continue, the verb is in present. After that, you see one more verb in the basic form or infinitive. Continue to go, continue to work, continue to endanger, continue to listen. Word charred to death, this is in past passive voice. I have used the combination here. Do remember the word charred takes the expression to death. They were charred to death. This is in past tense passive voice. Have perished. This is in present perfect active voice. Haven't been confined. She has been confined to something. She has not been confined to something. And here it could be active voice, it could be passive voice. Has not been confined. Next, has led to. This is in present perfect, again active voice. What is the main verb here? Lead. What is the past form of that? Led. Has led to something. Lead, led, led. Have been identified. This editorial, the writer has used a lot of has used present perfect many a time. and has used a lot of helping verbs. Have been identified. This is again in present perfect passive voice. I have identified the culprit. The culprit has been identified by me. This is in present perfect passive voice. Were engaged in. This is in past tense. Were engaged in some work. Were busy in some work. Unit did not have. The unit did not have something. This is in past tense negative. Exam point of view, past tense negative form is very important because it goes with common errors. In our country, when it comes to past tense negative form, a lot of people make a mistake because they use the logic. I met my friend yesterday, they don't make a mistake. I did not met my friend yesterday. They tend to say that, which is not correct. I did not met my friend is wrong. One should say, I did not meet my friend yesterday. Then they get the doubt, they ask the question, this is past tense, so why should we use meet? And they think the word meet is a present form, but it is not the present form. It is a basic form or infinitive without to, and the word for that is bare infinitive. There's a rule that goes with past tense, interrogative, and negative forms. What is the rule? In past tense, interrogative, and negative forms, you have two verbs. One is did, the other one main verb. For the first verb did, we use the past form. And for the second or the main verb, we use the basic form without to, and that is known as bare infinitive. The I did not meet my friend, not met. You should recollect that particular rule. That is very important from the exam point of view. Could have triggered. I prefer the word might have triggered. The context talks about something that happened in the past. You're not quite sure how it happened. In that situation, you're supposed to make a guess. When you make a guess about a past possibility, the helping verb is might have triggered. Could have talks about just a past possibility. I could have come in time. I could have done it. There was a possibility, but I did not do. In that context, I say, I could have done it. May seem inevitable. May look inevitable. May talks about possibility you got yesterday. I don't want to repeat that. There is one important word here, inevitable, unavoidable. Can be reduced. We can reduce that. That can be reduced. This is again the helping verb in passive voice, important from the exam point of view. They have been, it has been. When you see the word been, you got to be a little careful. The helping verb to be, the past participle form of the helping verb to be is been. And been can go with present perfect tense active voice, past perfect tense active voice, future perfect active voice. The word been also goes with all the perfect tenses in passive voice. For example, she has been a student for 2 years. Here it is in present perfect active voice. She has been. I have used the word been as the main verb. She has been a student for 2 years. I have done the work. That is in present perfect active voice. The work has been done by me. I have used the word been again, but in this context, it is in passive voice. That you have to always be very cautious and careful. Has also complained, again in present perfect. Looks like the writer is fond of present perfect tense. It also found, the committee also found, it is in past tense. And when you see the word committee, you have to recollect the collective nouns and the rule that goes with the collective nouns. Usually they take a singular noun, but if the sentence talks about division, a collective noun takes a plural verb and a plural pronoun. Continue to be ignored. The pattern is important. Continue to work. Continue to do something. But here it is in passive voice. Continue to be ignored. Continue to ignore active voice. Continue to be ignored passive voice. Must already have got many a time. One, it talks about personal obligation. The other, it talks about something that is compulsory. Now coming to the third dimension, reading comprehension skill. When you read the editorial or you listen to the editorial, after the session you have to spend a few minutes and you have to ask a few questions. You have to ask yourself a few questions. What is the central idea of the editorial? Yesterday I gave one question, what is the main theme? For the same, we could also use central idea. What is the central idea of the editorial? What are the recommendations of the committee? Which place is considered the fireworks capital? What are the findings of the committee? What are the reasons behind the fire accidents? What is expected from the government? What is expected from the industry? Today I haven't given the answers. I want you guys to look at the questions and write the answers on your own. That will help you in the long run. That's all about the editorial analysis and the enrichment from three angles or three dimensions, a multi-pronged approach. One is vocabulary point of view, second is grammar point of view, third is reading comprehension skill point of view. Now it is time for you guys to work on the exercises. Have a look at these words, important words, write the part of speech, write the meaning. Should be rather easy because this is the fourth time you're working on the words from today's editorial. I see Ganesh has already responded, Saishi also, a lot of students have responded. Hazardous, part of speech, adjective. Part of speech is what? Adjective. Hazardous material. And what is the meaning of that? A lot of students say E. What is E? Dangerous. That is absolutely right. Inflammable. Flammable, inflammable, both mean the same. Do remember. Active, inactive, here opposite. But inflammable, flammable, both mean the same. That's an exception. To also adjective, that's right. And what is the answer? To D. What is D? Explosive, that is absolutely right. Explosive and dangerous, you have got two words. Go to the third one. What is the third one? Endanger. Look at the form. Endangered could be an adjective, but endanger, it's only a verb. It's a regular verb. H, what is H? A risk. A risk. Let others also respond in this context. But actually it means threaten, jeopardize, imperil. Remember those words. That is rather an easy word. Shard, you can easily make out. Shard. It's a verb. That's good. A lot of students have been responding. I appreciate the response. Fourth one is a verb. Obviously, it is a regular verb, shard. And what is the meaning of that? Burnt and blackened. Something turns black, then we use the word burnt. Because of burning, it turns black. Then we use the expression charred to death. Burnt to death, turning black. F is the right answer. Go to the next one. Crackdowns. Crackdown singular, crackdowns plural. That means it has to be a noun. What is the meaning of 5? I see one student says G. What is G here? Failures, crackdowns. Failures is not correct. Answer should be B. B is correct. Restrictions. Endanger, already over. Shortcomings. Sixth one is shortcomings. That again, S means what? It's a noun. Shortcomings means failures. Here the answer is G. 6, it's a noun, and G is the answer. Cognizable. Remember, it could be S, it could be Z. Either way, the word is correct. Cognizable offense. Something that comes under the jurisdiction of a particular court. That's an important word. It's a legal term. And here I have given the combination. Cognizable offense means it is an adjective. So what is the meaning of that? Perceptible. Here it is perceptible. J is the answer. Shortcomings, failures. Rampant, an important word. It goes with corruption. Rampant corruption. So it has to be an adjective. And what is the meaning? 8. Rampant is an adjective, not a noun. Unchecked. That is right. A is correct. Unchecked or widespread. Exponentially. Easy to make out. Which part of speech is it? Adverb. Exponentially. You see one more adverb, rapidly. What is the answer? Rapidly. Prosecute. One meaning accuse. But to initiate legal proceedings, that also means prosecute. Prosecute, verb, prosecuted, and answer I. Prosecute, answer is I. Has anyone got all the 10 correct with parts of speech? I appreciate those students, those who have got all the 10 correct. Now have a look at spot the errors exercise, spot the errors. A few are really difficult. If you get all those correct, I appreciate. Prasad has got all the 10. That's good. 9 is also good enough. 9 good. Manasa, Shravani. 8 is also good enough. Ravi Shankar. Others, nothing to worry. It will take some time. Have a look at these sentences. Try to spot the errors. It cannot be a viable political alternative to the BJP unless it does not get imaginative in building sustainable and strong social and class coalitions. A lengthy sentence should not be difficult. But it's an important question. Many a time they have given in bank exams. No problem, Monica. Parts of speech, it will take some time, not easy. If you get 5 or 6 parts of speech right, you should be happy. 50% also, you should be very happy. It's a new skill you guys have been trying to learn. It will take some time. Does not, where is the error? I don't see. Unless it does not. That's right. Very good. There's one important word here, unless. Unless has negative connotation. There's one rule. In a sentence or in a clause, we cannot use 2 negative words. That is known as double negative. Unless is a negative word, then we cannot use one more does not. So what is the correct expression? Unless it gets imaginative. Does not should not be there. Does not is not correct. What is the correct sentence? Unless it gets imaginative. This is known as double negative. Double negative, not acceptable. That's right. Shalini, double negative. Very good. Unless it gets is correct. Now go to the second one. The impact of riots on health services receives scant attention, more so when there was a communal angle to it. Scanty, the second sentence, receives scant attention. Nothing wrong with scant attention. Scanty is noun and scant is adjective. Scant attention. Nothing wrong with that. No. This is rather easy. When you come across a sentence where you don't find the time phrase, try to understand the context. The context talks about a fact. The impact of riots on health services receives scant attention, more so when there was a communal angle to it. Here it is not was, it is. More so when there is a communal angle to it. It's a fact. Fact we use present tense. Every clause we have to use present tense. So was is not correct, is correct. So it is based on the context, the fact. Then present tense. All the clauses should be in present. Was is not correct, is correct. Now this is an important one, a lengthy sentence. Try to read carefully and try to spot the error. The ministry said all commercial and private establishments shall be closed except for shops, including ration shops dealing in food, groceries, fruits and vegetables, milk, meat, fish and fodder. Which one is, Narendra Reddy, which one is a tough question? The second one or the third one? Question number 3 or sentence number 3 is not easy. Be a little careful. Don't be hasty. If you get it right, I'll be very happy. Don't follow your regular rules and regulations, whatever you have, the rules you have learned so far. You got to be a little cautious, alert. No one has got it right. If you get it right, it will be a pleasant surprise. No, I don't think it is easy for you guys. The answer is no error. What is the answer? Many students must have thought, the ministry said, ministry, what is the subject here? Ministry, that is third person singular. And already have learned one rule. When it comes to future tense, all the future tenses, for that matter, only with first person singular and plural, that is I and we use will and shall, and other pronouns, second person, third person, we use only will. So you must have thought, ministry, third person singular, shall is not correct, it should be will. No, not correct. Here it does not talk about future. You should recollect the uses of the helping verbs, specific uses of helping verbs. If you remember, what are the uses of the helping verb shall? I have taught many a time, the helping verb shall has two functions. One, it is used to make a request for instructions, a request for suggestions, a request for proposals, one use. And the second use goes with this context. What is the use of the helping verb shall? It is used to express rules and regulations. Here it talks about rules and regulations. In that case, irrespective of the subject, I repeat, irrespective of the subject, you have to use the helping verb shall. It doesn't talk about future, it talks about rules and regulations. In English, to express rules and regulations, we use the helping verb shall. If you remember the examples, all the employees shall come in uniform. If you take a company booklet, you find shall. You take a school prospectus, you find shall. If you take the interview letters, you find the helping verb shall. Nothing to worry, it's an important question. As I said, had you got it right, I would have been surprised. Not at all easy. Go to the fourth one, should not be a problem, an easy one. Deadlines for filing income tax and GST returns have extended to June 30 as part of a slew of relaxations, continuous some of error rules, not possible to do everything because the time is now these new patterns, new slides. Yesterday we ran out of time. I had to take 5 minutes more. Today let us see how it goes. Based on that, I will try to squeeze in some time. Deadlines for filing income tax and GST returns have extended. Have been extended. That's right. Here, have extended is not correct. Someone has to extend. The subject receives action. Then we have to use passive voice. It is in present perfect. So what is missing? The perfect tenses in passive voice, they take the helping verb to be in the past participle form. What is it? Been. Returns have been, deadlines have been extended. Do remember present perfect tense, passive voice. Go to the last one. The changes were prompted by the shutdown of large parts of the country in a bid to control the spread of the COVID-19 viral infection so that taxpayers were not forced to endanger their health, in a bid to meet compliance requirements, she said. It is an easy one. Already a lot of students have responded. To forced to endangered, that is not correct. Endanger. You cannot use the past form or the past participle form. To, if it goes with the verb, then it should be in the basic form. To endanger, infinitive. Today I will not ask the question, has anyone got all the 5 correct? You must have got, I will change the question. Who has got the 4 out of 5, 4 correct? That is good enough. 4, good enough. 2 plus bare infinitive, that's right. And today this close test, the context is fighting fake news. it is rather different, new pattern. You see the words, but they are not in correct forms. 4, it is like 5 out of 5. Oh, Vijaya Chini has got all the 5 correct. That's wonderful. I appreciate. You're an exception by all means. Please have a look at the context, fighting fake news. Have a look at the blanks. Use grammar knowledge. You take elimination approach and think of collocations. But do remember here, it's a new pattern. What is the new? How is it new? You see the words. The words are right words, but the forms are not correct forms. Or 1 or 2 words, not the right words also, not appropriate words. You should find out the word, then you should tell the correct form or the correct word. Don't simply say 1, 2, 1, 3. You have to tell what exactly the correct form is or the correct word. Felicitate, is it the right word? It is not the right word. You have to tell the right word. Facilitate is correct. Felicitate, here the second option is correct, but what is the correct word? Felicitate is not correct. What is the right word here? Facilitate. To facilitate functioning of all print and electronic media outlets. Facilitate, not felicitate. They're confusing words. In an order issued on Monday, the ministry has said proper functioning of the media network is essential to create awareness among people to what? First you identify. 2, 4 is not correct. Felicitation goes with public acknowledgement of someone's success. Tomorrow you get selected. In your village, they organize a function and publicly they praise you. That function is called felicitation function. Facilitate means to provide. Facilitate means provide. Human resources managers are known as facilitators. They provide certain services. That is the difference. No, you cannot simply write the options. You have to write the correct word. Second one, disseminating is not correct. What is the correct word here? Disseminate. You cannot use disseminate is the right word. Please listen to the instruction. Listen to me very carefully. Today it is not the regular pattern. You have to identify the word. You have to write the correct form. The words are right. The forms are not correct. So be careful. Listen carefully. Try to respond based on what I have been saying for the last couple of minutes. Disseminate, to disseminate. So disseminating is not correct. What is the next one? False and fake news need to be avoided, and good practices. Here practices the right word, but what is the correct spelling of practices here? It is not S, it should be CES. Practices. SES is a verb and TICES noun. Practices, good practices need to be promoted. That's an important one, very important. Not easy to make out in the exam. Play a what? Pivotal role. Answer is a fourth word, but what is the spelling of pivotal? It is not E, it should be A. Pivotal. PIVOTAL. And what is the last one? In its direction. Direction is not correct. Directive. What is the right word? Directive. Not direction. In its directive. DIRECTIVE. This is a new pattern, in my opinion, not easy. Not directions, directive. TIVE. How do you find this? Challenging, interesting, easy, tough? I would like to have your response. Closed test. In my opinion, it is quite challenging. I don't know what you guys say about that. Interesting, that's a good word. A lot of students have said the same thing. Almost 5 students say interesting. One student, Sriram Akyuti, says challenging. It is challenging. My pleasure. Now have a look at the parajumble context Tokyo Olympics. When you see the word Olympics, you have to recollect the rule related to articles. Whenever we talk about sports events, we use a definite article the Olympics, at the Olympics. But individual sport, no article. In this context, what is the context? Tokyo Olympics should not be a problem. There are 6 parts. Try to get the correct order. What is one? Already Vijayachini has responded. Oh, really? That's good. I'm glad to know that. Monica Patel. A similar pattern has been given already in mains exam. This will be useful then. B is the first one. The 2020 Tokyo Olympics, originally scheduled to be held from July 24th to August 9th. What happened then? 1B, that is absolutely right. What is 2? 2 is A, obviously. Have been postponed to 2021. The first such delay in the game's 124-year modern history. Comma is there, continuation sentence is not over. Then it talks about the reason. 2A is correct. What is the third one? C is correct. Why? As the COVID-19 crisis wrecked, damaged the last international sporting showpiece meant for this year. It is not, third one is C. BAC. They go with one idea. What is the fourth one? Fourth one is not F. F is not correct. Fourth is E. Though a huge blow to Japan, which invested $12 billion in the run-up, though contrasting word, although though, the decision was a relief to thousands. It was something negative for Japan, positive for athletes. Though a huge blow to Japan, which invested $12 billion in the run-up, the decision was a relief to thousands of athletes fret over, to feel anxious, to worry about something, fretting over how to train as the world headed into lockdown over the disease. So what 3 sentences go with one idea, BAC, one idea, and 4, 5, 6, they go with one idea. What is the correct order? E, F, and D. Who has got the correct order? What is a word map? Rampant, that's an important word. It goes with descriptive English, writing an essay. Power word. Rampant, unchecked, easy word. Widespread, easy word. Pervasive, an important word. Pervasive, spread all over. Epidemic, already I've got many a time. Now 3 words are in the limelight. Epidemic, endemic, pandemic. Display is not good. What does it mean? Who is this Kari Kumari? Display is not good. What does it mean? Could you please be more specific or elaborate that statement? Rife is an important word. Unbridled, important word. Rampant, pervasive, rife, unbridled. Important. All 4 you have to remember. Thank you very much, Srirama QT. Parajumble, first sentence is rather easy always. You should take the elimination approach and you have to eliminate. Now I cannot give all the tips. Any sentence that begins with, that has a pronoun cannot be the first sentence. Any sentence that has demonstrative pronouns or adjectives cannot be the first sentence. Any sentence that begins with a conjunction cannot be the first sentence. Any sentence that has the definite article the cannot be the first sentence. Any sentence that has or that begins with a contrasting word or contrasting words cannot be the first sentence. Eliminate all those, then you will get the first sentence. That Kumari hasn't responded, display is not good. I would like to know what exactly, I don't know why she hasn't responded. Kumari, I have been waiting for your response. Could you please tell what exactly you mean when you say the display is not good? Which display is not good? Others have a look at the phrasal verbs. Turn away means what? 1C, reject. C, turn in. Use up. Go for easy ones. 1C is correct. Thank you, Manasa. Wish you the same. 2D, turn in. Use completely. That is not correct. Turn in means go to bed. That is rather difficult to make out. Turn in means what? Go to bed. Use up means use completely. Third one is D. Use up, run out of, use completely or consume. Vote out, reject through voting. That is rather easy. Wade in, this goes with army, this goes with soldiers. Wade actually means walk through water. But wade in as a phrasal verb, it has a different connotation. What does it mean? Wade in, answer is B. Join in a fight. This is an important one. Turn in, easy, not easy. Wade in, not easy. Vote out, easy to make out. Use up, it goes with everyday English, rather easy. Turn away, rather easy. I don't know that girl has not responded. Others, I would like to ask you guys a question. One student has said that display is not good. I would like to ask you guys a question. Is there any problem with the display? The slide, is any difficulty to read the text? Is there any problem with the display or the slide design? Please let me know. I would like to have your feedback. If there's a problem, then the purpose is defeated. I don't want that to happen. Display related to the text, the design, any problem? Okay, fine then. Have a look at these idioms and try to get the correct. Display not good, that means related to network. Could be, perhaps, related to network problem. Fine. I feel this presentation crystal clear. You can easily make out and shouldn't be a problem. Make a fortune, achieve distinction, that is not right. Make a fortune. Answer is, thank you very much, Shriyama Cutie. Make a fortune, become wealthy. He has made a fortune in the field of export business. He has made a fortune selling the plots. Means what? He has become very rich. Make a fortune, become wealthy. 1B, makeshift. That is rather easy. Makeshift tent, makeshift hospital, makeshift room. 2, something used for the time being. D is the answer. Something that is temporary. Something that is temporary. Something used for the time being. Make a mark means achieve distinction. This is an important one. He has made a mark in the field of teaching. She has made a mark in the field of acting. They have made a mark in the field of singing. Achieve distinction. That's an important one. Make a fortune, an important one. Mind one's P's and Q's. This is really important. They have given many a time. What does it mean? Mind your P's and Q's. In conversational English, we use this expression. We say, mind your P's and Q's. Answer is A. Be careful and correct in one's speech, behavior, and procedure. It means to be very polite. Chandana says, session is very informative, but for me the screen looks blurred. Does the screen look blurred? She has used one word, blurred. Means not clear, foggy. Is that her problem or generally the problem is there? I want others to respond. The feedback is very important. I always welcome the feedback. What matters is everything should be perfect and flawless. It could be a resolution problem, fine. And what is the last one? This is also very important. Man of letters singular, men of letters plural. And what does it mean? Man of letters, a writer and scholar. About the same person, we use two nouns or adjectives. After the second noun or adjective, we should not use any article. That you should recollect. He is a writer and a scholar. Then it is not correct. He is a writer and scholar. That is very important. Man of letters, an important one. Now recall. I will try to change. I think the other day you got idioms. Yesterday you got words. Now idioms. Once in a blue moon. I am sure all my students of CCE, they answered this within no time. Thank you very much, Shalini. Crystal clear. 62 minutes. We are running out of time. There's a last slide. I usually give the example. The students read the Hindu paper once in a blue moon. Now these days I am not saying that. A lot of our students have changed. They have started reading the Hindu paper, which is quite appreciable and admirable. Silver lining. Once in a blue moon means what? Very rarely, that's right. Silver lining, hope, or something that is positive in a difficult situation, in a tough situation, in a bad situation. You see something that is positive, then we say there's a silver lining. There's one more expression. Every cloud has a silver lining. Exactly, Manasa, you've got it right. Same time you have written that. Every cloud has a silver lining. Every problem has a solution. Every bad situation, you can think of something positive and solve or come out of that situation. So once in a blue moon, very rarely, that's right, silver lining, something positive. And hope, give cold shoulder. He gave me cold shoulder in the party. What does it mean? Cold feet, anxious, worried, tensed up. But here, cold shoulder. A silver thing, that's right, 𝐏𝐂𝐃𝐈𝐀, very good example. If they discover a vaccine for coronavirus, that will be the silver lining. Wonderful, I appreciate that. Give cold shoulder means what? Ignore someone, look down upon someone. In a party, someone doesn't talk to you. A friend of yours, an acquaintance of yours, then what do you say? He gave cold shoulder in the party. Unfriendly manner, that is also right. Ignore, simple word. Go scot-free, very important. You have learned this. The minister has gone scot-free. What does it mean? I want you guys to respond quickly. We have, it's already 9:04. We have been running out of time since yesterday. Escape punishment. Go scot-free means what? Escape punishment. Someone does something wrong, someone commits a crime and he escapes punishment, then we say, usually I give the example, the minister has gone scot-free. Rule of thumb, based on experience. You do something based on the rule of thumb. Means what? Based on experience, not based on bookish knowledge. He does things based on rule of thumb. Means what? Based on experience, practical knowledge. This is an important one. Nip in the bud. To stop something in the initial stage. To eradicate something in the initial stage. Nip in the bud. That is also an important one. Jokes apart means seriously talking. Jokes apart, I say something, then on the lighter side, then I say, jokes apart, you have to read the Hindu paper every day. Then it means seriously speaking. Bolt from the blue, something that is unexpected and usually with a negative connotation. The news of the assassination came as the bolt from the blue, unexpected, shocking, and negative. Black sheep, black leg, a person who works when others are on strike. Black sheep, a bad person in a group. Don't get confused between the two. Achilles heel, the weak point in one personality. A person is very strong, everything is perfect, everything is flawless, but there is a minor defect, a weakness in his personality that may result in his downfall. For that we say Achilles heel. That's all for today, and thank you very much. Wish you all again a very happy Ugadi, a happy Telugu New Year, happy and prosperous Telugu New Year. Have a great day. Thanks for coming. About 70 students have been with me. I appreciate all the students. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow with a new editorial to enrich your language proficiency. Thank you. Do give your feedback all the time. Feedback, positive or negative, it doesn't matter. Feedback always helps to improve. And the name of the game is improvisation. That's what I always say. I believe in that too. Thank you. Thank you very much.